So this week on Your Morning, Your Vote, we are focusing on what is driving families to vote in this election. And today, we're looking at calls for federal action as children and adults with autism struggle for support and sit on waiting lists right across the country. Joining us this morning is Joseph Trazo, whose 15-year-old son, Julian, has autism, and Sherry Bartman. She's the clinical director of the Shining Through Center for Children with Autism. Welcome to you both.
Thank you.
Joseph, let's start with you. Julian has autism. He has thrived while being in this intensive therapy program. In your experience, what do families need most in terms of support from the federal government?
Well, I think to answer that question, what I'd like to do is speak directly to the politicians, those that are in power and those that are seeking power. And what I would say is I specifically want to talk to those politicians that have children. And when their child became ill or becomes ill, and they go to the doctor and they get an assessment and they get a diagnosis, medication is prescribed for those children. It's not a little bit of medication, it's a full prescription, and the doctors say, take this medication, your child will get better. When it comes to children with autism, parents, when they suspect their child might have autism, do the same thing. They go to the doctor, they get an assessment, they get a diagnosis, and I want to make this clear. Doctors prescribe medication for these children as well. It's in the form of intensive behavioral therapy, and in most cases costs between $60,000 and $70,000 a year, which leaves families at a state where they just can't afford the medication that's been prescribed for their children.
An important point to make. Sherry, I want to bring you on this. What are you hearing from the federal leaders? We've heard a couple of announcements, including one from Justin Trudeau in Oakville recently. What do you want to hear? Because this announcement was described where they said they had pillars for a federal autism plan, but no actual plan. It was described as underwhelming by some.
Yeah, it's insufficient. I think we really need our leaders in our government to prioritize the services and treatment for kids and adults and their families, and make this a priority so that parents aren't on this roller coaster every time there's an election or a new leader in power.
The comment has been when parents and stakeholders such as yourself approach politicians, the response is always, this is something that needs to be handled at the provincial level, but we're here to support at the federal level. Is that good enough?
It's not. We really need a national strategy. We need all levels of government to come together. It's not a partisan issue. This needs to be a priority. We're Canadians. We should be helping these children, these adults, and their families.
What will it take to win your vote in this election?
I think really a commitment to make this a priority.
Joseph, what about you?
For me, what it's going to take for me to vote for a particular party is one thing. For families that have a child with autism, for the grandparents that have a child with autism, for the aunts and uncles, siblings, families, and friends, I want a political party to provide hope. Hope for families like myself that they can get the medication that's so required for their children to have a chance in this world.
And why is it important for families such as yourself to have support at the federal level?
Look, at the end of the day, I've said from the start, this isn't a political issue. This isn't a provincial issue. This isn't a federal issue. This is an issue where children with autism need the medication in the form of ABA therapy to have a chance to become a productive member of society.
Because it's proven to work.
It has been proven to work. My child is a perfect example of that. It has worked for him.
Well, hopefully each of the leaders is listening to what you both had to say. Thanks for sharing that with us on Your Morning today.
Thank you.
Thanks for watching. If you like this, be sure to subscribe here.
And you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.